الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي واشدد به أزري واشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. O Lord, provide us the goodness and blessings of this world and help us see what this world points to and keep us away from falsehood and all kinds of wrongdoings. Amen. وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Happy Saturday. Inshallah everybody's doing good. Today we will continue on our journey of discovering more layers of meaning of the Quranic verse. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. For us, God suffices. He's the best disposer of affairs. So we are picking up from page 89 of the fourth ray. Last Saturday, we covered the first point and we felt the need to go over the last paragraph on page 89 of the first point. So it's really the second paragraph, which is highlighted up there. And pretty much what this first point was really drawing our attention in looking at creation around us, the qualities around us, how everything is perfectly arranged, organized, and really seeing the different aspects of the universe. Usually we are accustomed to just seeing things as they are, but in reality, everything here points to something not of the nature of this universe. Everything here is communicating something to us. And so we need to read that part and further make sense of things. So I'm gonna pick up from page 89, the first paragraph. Also, to be observed are a generous treatment, a mutual acquaintance, and friendly dialogue with the tongue of disposition, and a compassionate response to supplication, which make perceived a profound compassion and elevated mercy. That is to say, the bestowal of bounty and giving of pleasure, which are observed behind the making known and loved, which are as clear as the sun, arise from a genuine wish to be compassionate and powerful, desire to be merciful. And this powerful desire in one absolutely self-sufficient, who has no need of anything, demonstrates certainly an utterly perfect, pre-eternal, everlasting, peerless beauty, the nature and reality of which necessitate its wanting to be manifested and to see itself in mirrors. In order to display and see itself in various mirrors, this beauty has taken on the form of compassion and mercy. Then in the mirrors of conscious beings has assumed the state of bestowal and munificence. then has taken the form of making itself known and loved, and then bestowed the light of adorning creatures and making them beautiful. I'll reread this again. Also to be observed are a generous treatment, a mutual acquaintance and friendly dialogue with the tongue of disposition, and a compassionate response to supplication, which make perceived a profound compassion and elevated mercy. That is to say, the bestowal of bounty and giving of pleasure, which are the bestowal of bounty and giving of pleasure, which are observed behind the making known and loved, which are as clear as the sun, arise from a genuine wish to be compassionate and powerful desire to be merciful. And this powerful desire in one absolutely self-sufficient, who has no need of anything. This is an interesting point. Demonstrates certainly an utterly perfect, pre-eternal, everlasting, peerless beauty, the nature and reality of which necessitates its wanting to be manifested and to see itself in mirrors. In order to display and see itself in various mirrors, this beauty has taken on the form of compassion and mercy. Then in the mirrors of conscious being has assumed the state of bestowal and munificence. Then has taken the form of making itself known and loved, and then bestowed the light of adorning creatures and making them beautiful. So pretty much it's really drawing our attention of what we notice in creation. We see different sorts of creatures of all ages, stages doing their thing. We see there's things that are constantly speaking to us, and we communicate via expressions, we communicate via hand gestures, eye contact, smelling, smiling, waving at each other. So there are various means and forms through which we communicate with each other. And not only with the human beings, but we communicate with our toys. We communicate with the book, right? It's very colorful. We open up the book and there's a text written down there. So something is communicating something to us. And so that is how at every moment it's like creation is displaying various qualities to us. And when we go outside in the park, we communicate with birds, we communicate with the clouds, we communicate with trees, flowers, plants, and so on and so forth. So it seems that somebody's really displaying everything for us. Somebody's setting up the stage for us. Things just don't happen to be in existence like that, haphazardly. They are put there. Just like if you walk into a beautiful garden, the gardener or someone must really have worked on it, so we can enjoy all kinds of beauties and bounties that we observe in the garden. So that really pretty much applies to everything that we do around us. But yeah, it was interesting, right? That just how we see the sun up there, right? It's very clear. We can see that the sun is manifesting light all around us. It's hot, right? Sun is hot, right? Yeah, it emits. It's fire. Right, definitely. It's hot like fire. Definitely. We see different kind of qualities in different things in creation. And just like water is cool and soothing. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So how do I explain the existence of that coolness? Yeah. And the feelings or the experience I have with water? I clean myself with water. And pet. Exactly. You can flower also. I smell a flower. Sure, you smell flowers in the garden. Exactly. You got it. Look at that. Yeah, there's a lot we do. Exactly. Okay, so let's see. So it seems that whoever is setting up all this water, sunlight, flower, water, sunlight, air, and and the water, we make a house boat. Yeah, we definitely we use boats, float on water. Like how do we explain that, right? Big boats. Yes. Oh my goodness, that's a huge boat. Imagine that. So the one who's setting this up seems to be a very rich being, definitely self-sufficient. I'm using the words of the author here, who has no need of anything, pretty much. It's just giving us, providing us like nonstop, just like rain coming down nonstop. And so that clearly demonstrates, just like the sun up in the sky, that there's really, there must be peerless beauty and eternal, everlasting reality that I find myself in need of here. And so what I experience here is like a mirror, right? Like you see yourself in the mirror. And so that one who's setting up all this for you and I, seems that he has no need of anything, just like an artist has, just creates art. He's, demonstrating, utilizing his skills. And so in order to display and see itself in various mirrors, this beauty has taken on the form of compassion and mercy. Then in the mirrors of conscious beings has assumed the state of bestower munificence. So it's really somebody's really introducing themselves to us. Somebody's showing that they love us, right? Just like our moms, cook delicious food for us to let know that they love you. Right, and then even exactly. So anything that is produced, even olives, they are it has seeds, definitely, right? So there's so much things and stuff in creation, and then we should really question the grapes. Exactly. I like strawberries, like wow, you just name it, and I'm sure there's more fruits and veggies to discover out there. Grapes, yeah, exactly. Different colors. You have red ones, green ones, and golden ones. And the chicken too. The chickens, exactly. Wow, my goodness. Like if we were to like write a list right now of all the bounties that we see around us, I think we would need lots and lots and lots of paper and ink to do that. Alrighty, so I'm going to take a pause here and just check in with people in the audience right now. If there is anything that you want to share or add, feel free to do that at any point. You can raise your hand. Sarah Lalem, go ahead, please.
So I'm just taking each sentence as a question that I ask myself, is this true? Okay. Asking myself, is it true? And how can I confirm it? So and wait, so this claim that please. The claim that there's a powerful desire which necessitates its wanting to be manifested and see itself in mirrors. So then I see what we're exposed to here in creation, and I see how we have this very intense need. People travel across the world to see beauty. People, have an intense desire to really see beauty in the world. People go to museums to go see art, or people search for the most beautiful places, so that I can confirm that there is definitely a necessary, intense need to see beauty. Even the moment that you say, wow, the people around you say, oh, what is it? So there is an intense need that I can confirm. To to see beauty, which points to the fact that there is, or this quality of beauty needing to be known and needing to be observed and needing to be seen in a very almost like unyielding sort of way, with like intense passion, right? Because people will travel across the world. So then the final sentence is just somewhere that I'm just pausing. Okay, that in order to display and see itself in various mirrors, so I can confirm that there's a need to see beauty in various mirrors. Yes, I confirm that that's true in creation. That's how we're made. This beauty has taken on the form of compassion and mercy. So I guess the word form is where I paused. Like, wait, form, what do you mean by form? The means maybe, because through compassion and mercy is really what we consider beauty. So I'm going to pause there and maybe welcome other reflections.
Thank you, Sarah and Shakur, for your beautiful comment. So yeah, it's a good place to ponder a little bit that we see beauty all around us. And this form that you brought our attention to pretty much is everything that we are coming across, everything that we're interacting with. And then obviously we can take practical examples, and there's definitely mercy in things, there's purpose, meaningful purpose, and so we can connect that to compassion and mercy. It can start from, I think, things around us, relationships, family, children. Let's get into sociology. Parents take care of their young ones, and the young ones are also there to entertain the parents. So everything takes on, there's beauty in this. And so we observe different sorts of form of someone displaying compassion and mercy for us. And there could be something else out there. Sunlight is just nice and warm. So that's another form of compassion and mercy. Otherwise, imagine if it was always cold, then, I mean, yeah, I was watching this documentary about the North Pole, but you know, like human beings are in need of a little variety, so we do need to experience things in various flavor forms, types, and so like the whole idea is really questioning, like, why am I put in a situation like that? What else all this points to? And so just like Nursi here is saying that, so everything then becomes a mirror that's pointing to someone who's making themselves known and loved. And so rather than attaching myself to the things that are a means of manifesting all this beauty, mercy, compassion, I literally am made in a way where I look for the source, the direct source of existence of all this. Otherwise, my existence here would just be not purposeful. It would just be between birth and death, and that's it. You know, I can accumulate like lots of fun stuff, but like what at the end, what's going on? So otherwise things would become meaningless. So definitely the transience and the form that you mentioned, like the forms of various ways that we receive mercy and compassion, love and beauty, are there for a reason, so we connect to its author. So that was just my take on your query, but let's see what others have to say. Feel free to raise your hand if you have. Okay, if no more questions then, or comment or anything, then we can proceed with the second point. Second point. Mankind's genuine, intense, and powerful love of God, and especially that of its elevated classes and of innumerable persons, whose paths are all different, point self-evidently to a peerless beauty. Mankind's genuine, intense, and powerful love of God, and especially that of its elevated classes and of innumerable persons, whose paths are all different, point self-evidently to a peerless beauty. Indeed, it testifies to it. It's a good point. So all the varieties of form that I observe of compassion, mercy, and beauty, it's all self-evidently pointing to a source not of the nature of this universe, and so it testifies also to its existence. So there must be peerless beauty out there. Yes, such a love looks only to such a beauty and necessitates it. Such passion demands such loveliness. Indeed, all the praise offered by beings verbally and through the tongue of disposition looks to that pre-eternal beauty and goes to it. In the view of lovers like Shamsi Tabrizi, all the attraction, captivation, ecstasy, and drawing truths in the universe are signs of a pre-eternal and post-eternal truth of attraction. All the attraction, captivation, ecstasy, and drawing truths in the universe are signs of a pre-eternal and post-eternal truth of attraction. So everything that we get attracted to or even get repelled by, but mostly beauty that's manifested all around us and all the other qualities points to or are signs of a necessarily existent truth that we all get attracted to in a way where we're made in a way where we dislike transience, and this feeling helps us look for something that is more permanent. So while the ecstatic motion and rotations which cause the heavenly bodies and all beings to dance and spin like moths and Mevlevi dervishes are the passionate and dutiful responses to the imperious displays of the sacred beauty of that captivating truth. Well, the ecstatic motion and rotations which cause the heavenly bodies and all beings to dance and spin like moths and Mevlevi dervishes are the passionate and dutiful responses to the imperious displays of the sacred beauty of that captivating truth. So pretty much everything, I mean, what comes to mind is really the solar system. I mean, we name it, but that's really the order in the universe. Things that we notice, even our change of what we call aging, everything is in constant motion. So everything pretty much is performing their duties, their responsibilities, and that pretty much points to or display that there must be in an architecture or artist of the universe at play to all the motions that we observe around us. I'll take a pause here and just check in to see if anybody has any comment or something that they want to share. Was that? Okay. So, Sarah, go ahead.
What comes to me is just when he says in the first sentence, man's genuine, intense, and powerful love of God, and especially that of its elevated classes and innumerable persons whose paths are all different, point self-evidently to a fearless beauty. Indeed, it testifies to it. So what came to my, I guess, heart space is like all the different kinds of love that people don't necessarily link to the love of God. But you look at all of the different movies of all the different kinds of love and how people love to watch love, like it's such, like truly, it's such a, it's such an intense driving force in this world. People don't necessarily link it to God, but there is an intense, in fact, people who don't link it to God just have this like incredible, really like extreme love of love. And so in the view, in the mid paragraph, in the view of lovers like Shamsi, Tabrizi, all the attractions, all of the different attractions, think about all of the different people that are so propelled by this force of love. Like it's something that is a universal language or just force, energetic force that truly sweeps people. Everyone loves love, and there's very like intense thing that we can all testify to the truth of. I mean, it's taken the world as far as like movies and everything. It's just everyone's so interested in watching and reading books even about this love. So I love that he says actually all of that we see, this captivation, all of this love of love, and drawing truths in the universe are signs of a pre-eternal and post-eternal truth of attraction. And now, so we can testify to the truth, especially in this society. I mean, in every society, it's like this, really, it's like really intense. It's just almost like blinded. People are just extremely taken by this concept of, like he says in the first sentence, genuine, intense, and powerful love. And this is the same love now. So this is how I can link it to God. I can first identify it in existence as truly something that people are in love with, intensely moved by, like, I don't even have to give examples, but it's definitely something that I've been observing lately with both people abroad and here, how moved people are by love. And to know that it is this force of love which cause the ecstatic motion and rotation, but it's like a force that's actually moving existence. Well, we see it in the human beings, right? Like we see that people are extremely moved and propelled by love. So an example is I have a small human being who's now riding a small little balance bike. It's like a little bike without pedals, and they just move their little feet extremely fast, or scooters, whatever it is, but they move extremely fast. And it's Brooklyn, so he has a lot of practice pausing and stopping at corners so he doesn't cross the street. But one day I was far behind him and he was far ahead of me, moving extremely fast with these little legs. And I found, so I know we've practiced intensely how to pause and stop before hitting the street, but it is still Brooklyn and busy streets. So I found a man extremely intensely moved to almost grab him as he reached the corner with intense worry and fear and love for him despite not knowing him. And he looked at me with such rage, like, how could you? You know, and I thanked him, I guess, thank you, I understand that you're so propelled with this incredible love that drives you, despite not knowing this small human who was incredibly moved with this ecstatic, literally, like he was fierce. And this is happening all the time, but I'm just using that as an example to say, really, it's really a fundamental emotion that we're seeing that moves people intensely. Like this is, so I now link that to the last sentence, while the ecstatic motion and rotations, which cause the heavenly bodies and all beings to dance and spin like moths and dervishes, are the passionate and dutiful responses to the imperious, I don't know what imperious means. Someone can look that up and share. To the imperious displays of the sacred beauty of this captivating truth. So, I mean, I can see how human beings have this we're moved by this intense love. You know, I mean, it's just love of everything. Like when someone gets sick, everyone loves to help. Or if someone, is needing to cross the street, people are intensely moved. Or one time, here's another example. I had accidentally given my small human the key to the door. I put him in his little car seat. He was like 1 at the time. He locked the door. I closed the door. So he was locked in a car by himself, and I was outside. And I was concerned. It was, I don't know when it was. Like it was sometime last summer, I guess. And the whole Brooklyn block, started to look at my concern, and every human being started gathering around me in my vehicle to try to break into the car for this child. And I mean, calling the police and running down the street. And I found this enormous, sweeping concern of love that moved all of these physical bodies, but in the same way, celestial bodies are also, we see them being physically moved in perfect care, so that everything else, we know that the celestial bodies are directly connected to us, right? Like the macrocosm and the microcosm are perfectly connected. Without the macrocosm in perfect order, we don't have our cups of water and our, sleep cycles and our everyday things that we need, food, in order. So it's a beautiful way, I think, a very artistic way in the second point to bring this very secular love that's literally it's like blinding people in a way. People are just so captivated by love and so intensely in love with love and so intensely curious about love. But now to say that this force necessitates a source, a beloved that is moving people, like this force is actually the mover. This source is the mover of all of this. It's a beautiful, it was just touching. I hope it was relayed.
Thank you, Sarah, for sharing your real life practical examples. And yeah, I agree. This whole piece about love, #love. Even Nursi says love is the cause of the universe's existence. So thing just rotates around love. And I think it's really deeply ingrained in our human nature. We do things out of love, anything, even like reactionary things that we may observe around us is also, I guess, deeply rooted in a need for love. So human beings are made in a way where we want to love and we want to be loved. So that's how the nature of this transient world is. And yeah, I think we should just make sure that we point this need of love to the one that satisfies it for us. Otherwise, we'll just be in despair and sorrow. So I think that's the whole training here, to direct all our expectations and hope for eternal love to a one that can satisfy us, because nothing of this universe can satisfy my need of love. None of the particles, atom, they themselves are given existence. So how can they satisfy any of my needs? So like you were saying, going from the macro to the micro level. So this is all a training and education platform for us, where this need of love helps us to drive our endeavors in the right direction, where the one that has given us existence is the only one worthy to be loved. Because if we think about it, everything is set up not by me, not by things around this universe, but there must be some absolute source, not of the nature of this universe, introducing itself to us through love. All right. Does anybody else want to add anything here? Go ahead.
I'm just trying to relate it to Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel, how this discussion is going. So all these examples of the love that we are seeing, where is Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel in that? As you, some of the comments kind of touched on that. Whatever is happening, whatever is going on, whatever we are engaging with the universe and creation, shows us that, whatever you're experiencing shows us that somebody is presenting that to us, and it is out of that beauty, that love, whatever the quality that, one can see. But whatever we are experiencing, we are only experiencing the qualities of that are presented to us, we are experiencing. And the whole universe is nothing but, I think you mentioned that, but a result of out of love. And it's just a matter of us recognizing that, where does our actual love belong to? Where does it has to go to? Where it needs to be directed to? And that's how our understanding of, Hasbunallahu will be felt, to really realize, yeah, indeed, this love and this intense everything, the whole world universe revolves and rotates around the love for the one who is presenting and organizing, nurturing, taking care of, and treat, the generous treatment that every creature is getting.
Thank you. Yeah, so pretty much the question then becomes, who do I trust with all these feelings of love that I'm bombarded with? It can be anything, because everything, all the feelings come out of a need of love. So who can I trust really with my state of being? And so just like Asim pointed out, we need to really direct them to its true source of origin, because that's the only way of salvation. Otherwise, if it gets dissipated, if this feeling of love gets dissipated just within the universe, on transient events, objects, things, people, then I'm losing it, everything. I'm at a loss. And that's really not the purpose of the creation. That's not the purpose of my creation, because yes, there's transience being experienced, and at the same time there's a love of this universe as well. I mean, I think we can all say that we love existence, and we also know the reality of what this universe is, and so we need a point of support to hold on to. We need a point of support to help us with our condition here. and I think that's the only hope and support that we can find if we direct all of our feelings to an absolute source. Okay, do you want to add something more? Okay. Anyone else wants to add something? Okay. So we can then move on to the third point. Let's do it. Third point. All the scholars who have researched into reality have agreed that existence is pure good and light. Existence is pure good and light, while non-existence is pure evil and darkness. The chiefs of the people of reason and the people of the heart have agreed that in the final analysis, all instances of good, beauty, and pleasure arise from existence, and that all evils and bad, calamities, suffering, and even sins are attributable to non-existence. Interesting point. So, yeah, what I observe is pretty much we're experiencing, all of us are experiencing existence, and the positive side, or the goodness side, the light, beauty, pleasure, health, and all the bounties, they point to existence, and anything that's lack of it really does not exist, because all I'm experiencing here is qualities, creation, things around me. But in order for me to realize existence, I need to be given, what do you say, a unit of measurement. So if there was no darkness, then how would I appreciate light? If there was no illness, how would I appreciate health, and thus think about who the health giver is? If there was no experiencing ugliness, how would I appreciate beauty? and the one that beautifies, the one that gives existence to beauty. So the negative side is needed for us to get to know the positive qualities. In other words, to get to know existence. I don't know if anybody wants to add anything here, but feel free. Okay, if not, then let's move on to the next piece. Do you have something? Okay. If you say the source of all beauties is existence, the source of all beauties is existence. Yeah, that's exactly what we were saying. Yet also in existence are disbelief and the egotism of the soul. Yeah, so I experienced that. I guess when we are in a state of heedlessness or experiencing something unpleasant, then we're like really looking for, oh my God, where's mercy here? You know, where's love here? Like, what's going on? So yeah, so the source of all beauties is existence, yet also in existence are disbelief and the egotism of the soul. The egotism of the soul is also part of us. And so again, that's a criteria that can be used to get to know our bright side. So like if you watch those, what do you say, animes, you know, or any kind of, what do you say, superhero movies, there's always a dark side to things or to a character. So yeah, just like all of us, no one is an angel. We all have our dark side, and so I think that's where the training lies. The answer: disbelief is non-existence because it is denial of the truth of belief. The existence of egotism, however, is a form of non-existence, which has acquired the color and form of existence due to a wrongful claim to ownership, not knowing the nature of man's mirror-like being and assuming the imaginary to be actual. Since the source of all beauties is existence and the source of all evils is non-existence, a necessary existence and pre-eternal everlasting being, which is the firmest and most elevated and shining existence, and the one most distant from non-existence, will demand the beauty which is the most powerful and the most elevated and shining and free of any blemish. It will rather express such a beauty. Indeed, it will be such a beauty. Since the source of all beauties is existence and the source of all evil is non-existence, a necessary existence and pre-eternal everlasting being, which is the firmest and most elevated and shining existence and the one most distant from non-existence, will demand the beauty which is the most powerful and the most elevated and shining and free of any blemish. It will rather express such a beauty. Indeed, it will be such a beauty. Like all encompassing light, it like all-encompassing light is necessitated by the sun. So the necessary existent necessitates an eternal beauty. He gives light through it. All praise be to God for the bounty of belief. So interesting. So pretty much what's being emphasized here is that we may perceive something, usually a negative thought or feeling, to be taking the form of existence because of wearing the wrong glasses or the way we're perceiving something, where I think we can all relate to it. Ego loves to claim ownership of things. Ego loves not to attribute anything wrong to themselves. Ego loves to justify themselves. Oh boy. Denying the truth, exactly. And I guess when we have the wrong perception, then everything looks dark. And that's not pretty. So definitely we need to train ourselves to clean out our perception glasses so we can not be on the denial side, but rather be on the confirming end, because the spirit in its essence is pure. It acknowledges the reality. It just needs to be watered in to flourish, just like earlier my little friend was saying, water helps the flowers grow. So yeah, everything is helping each other out. That's perfect harmony that we notice. And so pretty much if we all want love and beauty, just like Sarah also pointed out earlier, and everything is in need of it. But again, from time to time, our wrong perception of things may take us in the wrong direction. But the reality is out there, just like the sun up there in the sky is clear evidence for the sun itself. So similarly, the source of existence of anything is clear evidence that eternal beauty exists out there. And I just need to clean my lenses from time to time. All right, I'll just check in to see if everybody's doing good. And I see Ali Murmur. Go ahead, Brother Ali.
This is very important. This is a very important subject, but at the same time, it is hard to digest it, grasp it, for me. Why? How do I make it come to a conclusion that existence is the pure good and non-existence is the pure bad? Actually, in our practical life, we never experience non-existence. Our experience is only existence. But what we think the non-existence is the result of our comparisons of different types of existence. What do I mean by this? The Spiegel example, typical example, everybody uses it, and every time we use it here as well. For example, somebody may be ill, suffering from certain sickness, and this person may be in a very desperate situation. This person says, if only I did not experience this illness and the pain from the illness, I would rather not exist. But this conclusion, excuse me, this is the result of comparison. We don't want to lose health. We don't want to lose truth, confirming the truth, for example. So all this egoistic attitude is nothing but not accepting the reality, saying that I am free in this world, although my reality doesn't say this. So comparing with one type of existence with another type of existence, we may think that non-existence is something that we can experience it. We don't experience non-existence. We only experience existence, and the existence itself is good, although sometimes like illness, like egoistic attitudes, like lies that we experience, these are, as a result of our comparisons, the lack of truth, lack of health, lack of reality that human beings want to experience. This lacking side is not liked by human beings. That's why we conclude that non-existence is bad. For example, non-existence of health is bad as a result of comparison, a healthy period of our life and a sickness period of our life. We say, existence of health is really good, but non-existence of health makes us realize that, in fact, non-existence itself is bad. So as a result, we have to say, whatever it is, existence is good. For example, let's say a person loves his mother. This is a typical example, and her mother may be suffering from a very incurable disease, and she may, or the person may say, if only my mother did not experience this existence, it is better for her not to exist. This is not really preferring non-existence. This is a way of expressing not being happy with the lack of our previous good experience of health. For example, if you ask this person, the same person who says it is better for my life not to live, not to exist, but if you ask this person whether he or she would like his mother to recover her health or not to exist at all, this person definitely will say, of course, recovering the health, a healthy life. That's what I am complaining. I am complaining about the lack of health. But this is the result of comparison, because lack of health is also in the form of experience. So, sorry, in the form of existence. For example, egoistic attitude also appears to be in the form of existence. Not appears to be, it is in the form of existence. But from this comparison between being honest person, being an egoistic, selfish person, we prefer honesty. That's what human nature requires. That is why lack of honesty is disliked. That is why we say this lacking point is non-existence rather than experiencing non-existence, which is impossible. As a result of comparison, this lacking point for me, as compared to my previous experience, I conclude that, non-existence is bad. Existence is good. The existence of illness also gives me the experience of, or gives me the opportunity to experience, to make the experience of making the comparison between health and lack of health. Both of them are creation. Both of them are existing. But this lacking point gives me the opportunity to conclude that, it must be the only non-existence is bad for me. To understand this important for me, I don't know whether I will explain it, what is in my feeling actually. I should not really complain about this seemingly lack of something that I want. Seemingly means non-existent, as if non-existence of health makes me unhappy. But this is the opportunity for me to understand and appreciate the existence and love the existence. And it demonstrates that my nature loves existence, doesn't love non-existence. This kind of two kinds of creation gives me the opportunity to conclude that everything which exists is good for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ali. That was very helpful. So understanding whatever experiences and feelings that we go through, and then connecting it to the existence of really what matters is, I think, that the realization and training we all need to undergo. Yeah, that was a very good fine point where at times I may be where I don't want the existence of an unpleasant event, but I should utilize it to appreciate the existence of all this time, where like in the example that you gave, the bounties that were given and provided, which really connects to existence. Alhamdulillah, that was very helpful. Thank you. We can stop here for today, inshallah, and reflect a little further on this. So next Saturday, we will pick up from the second paragraph here. I think it's a verse that we can pick up from next week, inshallah, on page 90. Thank you all for coming in and chiming in with your thoughts and comments. Alhamdulillah, it makes the discussion lively and makes us think a little further. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Glory be unto you. We have no knowledge save except that which you've taught us. Indeed, you are all knowledgeable, all wise. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.